And hello there, welcome to the Rare October Network. This is your man Stefan Cassadee here. And yeah, I wanted to talk about, because I haven't been on here in a while, so I wanted to talk about something that's been bugging me, and that is the pains of being a writer. Now, as some of you may know, I wrote and published a book called Hope for Healing. Probably saw it before. And I'm actually in the process of doing another one. It's called Drop of Cold Blood. But this is not a video to promote those books. This is something that has been bugging me. First of all, it's the pains of being a writer. Now, before everybody starts saying this is a video about pity, oh, why is nobody buying my book, oh my god, you know, I'm going to tell you something. This is not about promotion. This is about being recognized. First of all, people have to realize with book writing that it is not, and writing fiction, it is not a joke. Everybody in America, if you ever go to college, the first thing they say is take up engineering, take up accounting, take up business, take up STEM fields. I'm in a STEM field. I'm in environmental science. I'm going for my master's degree at Duquesne. But I also like to write on the side. Okay? Now, everybody, since the rise of Napster in 1999, 2000, the thing is now everybody likes to get everything for free. And I've encountered that as a writer. In fact, a lot of times people go, and first thing you say when you're a writer, you say, okay, I wrote a book. Okay, where can I get a copy? And I direct them to Amazon, or I direct them to Book Patch. Oh no, I don't want to pay for it. I'd rather have a copy of it. You know, I'd like to read it. Now, you have to understand something, okay? My book writing's not free, okay? I'm going to give you a list of expenses I have to do. First of all, the software I have to buy, Microsoft Office, because you can't write without it, $200. Designing a cover, commissioning a cover. I got off on it cheap on Hope for Healing was $100. Most of them cost $500 to $1,000. How about the work I do? Well, I put the combined book will be 180 Microsoft Word pages. It's 500 pages on Kindle. Figure I pay myself $25-30 an hour. That's how much a good technical writer costs. It's $1,000+. Now, also too, in order to get it, I have to hire an agent. I've never hired an agent before, but it's guaranteed you're going to have to put $300-400 into it. A good line editor, because nobody will read your book with all the mechanical errors, costs $5,000 to $6,000. Promotions, selling it on in the newspaper, selling it to bookstores through consignment, thousands of dollars. We'll just say $3,000 here. How about the other things too? How about getting it to readers? Well, the delivery costs on Amazon are about 35%. Figure that's going to cost $10,000. So we're talking about nearly $20,000 to $30,000 for just one book. So, and people say to me, well, I don't trust on buying stuff on the internet. I live too far away. Can't you just ship me a copy? First of all, the thing is, if I ship you a copy, you're going to put it on a shelf. You'll read it for 5 or 6 minutes. You know, you'll read it maybe for an hour or something. You're going to put it on a shelf, and you're going to be on the next thing. Now, don't whine about it, because the thing is with it is that if you're asking me for a free copy of the book, you know what that says to me? That says, Steve, Stefan, I like your book, but it doesn't mean anything to me. It's worthless. Your labor is worthless. Now, I understand with everything now that, you know, you say, well, why don't you get a real job? I do have a real job. I work stock clerk. But, you know, it's hard because you do something like this And people would rather have something more manifested. You know, one of the things that I encountered when I first published Hope for Healing last year is that I went on Kindle. I thought, well, we'll just do that, and then people said they want real copies. Well, with the real copies came people who would petition me. I still get it all the time. I placed a copy of it at work in our break room, and I thought this will be a good way. And so I come in 2 weeks later, it's soaked in water. So that was basically what people thought about it. They said, "Go shit on yourself, Steve." So, and then I would start getting people who would ask. They say, "Oh, I loved your book. I want a copy. Can you get one for me?" Now, when I initially printed it, because I have to print them in bulk, I was like, okay, I'll send out a few. I said, okay. I save a copy. I put a couple in the safe. But people are just sitting there hitting me up, especially family members and people who are not too close, and co-workers, all who want a free copy of this book. You know, because if I give them a free copy, what do I tell all the people who paid for a copy and said, "Oh, I want my money back," or "I'm never going to buy you again"? God forbid they say anything else. You have to realize, based on the fact, and I didn't even count an ISBN, which is costing $200, $300, but you have to realize all that marketing and all that investment I make does not come free. $20,000 is all I made in the past 2 years. And, you know, we put so much effort into it. You know, you put your life into it. You have to come up with a plot. And this is true for any artist. This is for painters. This is for musicians. This is for movie makers. This is for directors of films. You all, if you're in the creative arts, you are underpaid, period. Okay? You have to give your life up. If you're an accountant, all you have to do is show you can add numbers and show you know the law, and you'll make $60,000 a year. And people will say, "Well, why don't you get a real job, Steve?" Once again, they say, "Oh, you're worthless." I will tell you this right now. The fact that our society is declining is not because we don't have enough prepared people, we don't have enough H-1B visas and everything. It's the fact we've lost all our creativity. Nobody likes writers. Everybody would rather have somebody who can get them money. This is all that matters. In fact, I've often thought about writing books about money, but frankly, I'm tired of hearing about it and I don't want to write about it. But people need to realize, though, that you have to at least value it. You know, you have to put a value. I don't make that much off the books, okay? Everybody sees that the book costs $8 on the website Bookpatch. And they're saying $8 and we're giving $5 for shipping. So it's $13. I'm not spending $13 on your book. I want a copy shipped to you for free, and you can print it you can pay the $8 and you can pay the $5 for shipping and then the $5 to ship it to my house. So all for you to go and have it sit on your shelf. You'll never read it. I can tell you that right now, you will never read it because it means nothing to you. It's junk mail. So that's the first thing. Another thing that's important is that as a writer, you have to go and you can never, ever, ever disclose who inspired your characters. I've already gotten into that trap once where there was somebody I knew who shall remain nameless, who was an inspiration, and I kind of was dropping hints, and it got to the point where she called my bluff, and I told her, and that was the end of that. So, but you cannot disclose anything, any writing methods. It's impossible. You know, you have to remain on the low, and you have to you can tell people after the book is published and they've read it, you know, they're like, "Oh, I see this in me, and I see myself in it," and then the door is opened. So that's often a thing as a writer. And the other thing is, too, is as a writer, is that you're constantly trying to revise. It's always a point. You have to revise. There's always little things that you can fix. There's always this you can fix. There's always that you can fix. And you're always afraid to send and to get this ISBN. You're afraid to go, and you're afraid to actually print it out because you know you're going to revise it again. And people start to get mad when you've done 3 or 4 revisions, especially if you're a small author, because God forbid they've invested in you the first time. And, you know, and they see it, and I fell into this trap with Hope for Healing because I realized after I had mass produced it and got the ISBN and everything that, in fact, there were mistakes in it. And in fact, when I was developing the cover, I couldn't afford a professional cover. I went and hired somebody, a Pittsburgh author, over Craigslist. A lot of the people said, I'm not going to touch this book, and I'm not going to design a cover if it has all these errors in it. So now that's another reason why I need your support. I have to pay $6,000 for a 200-page, 100,000-word document for a line editor. If there's thorough edits, it's going to cost me $10,000, $12,000. You tell me then why I should just do all this work. Okay? Because I believe in it, but I do need people to believe in me sometimes. And it's hard because I think nowadays with the internet, everybody can be a publisher. But not everybody's a writer. Okay? People, and I think that's one of the reasons why that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to get an ISBN. That's one of the reasons why the company that I forget what it's named is charges $250 for an ISBN. We don't want just anybody writing. Okay, we need it to be exclusive. And the fact is, I honestly think with my book that all I really would like, I don't mind if I don't make $1 million off the book. I don't plan on doing it. I'd rather have somebody go and read the book and offer something other than, oh, I liked it. Okay, you did? What'd you like about it? Oh, I like the part where she does this and she does that. The fact that you're not analyzing it, you're reading it at a superficial level, kind of defeats the purpose of reading the book. Especially if you're fiction writing, because when I write, I try to make people think a little bit. And that's every writer's goal. It's not supposed to make you go through the pages and be like some of the stuff I've read and go through it in 90 minutes, read a 300-page book in 90 minutes. I would rather it just be that maybe a few people, maybe 10 or 12 people will write a review on Amazon and say, and they write a little paper. A book report. If somebody wrote a book report about my book, that would be awesome. I want to see somebody write a book report about a book. The other thing is, too, is that I think there's often a stigma with writers that we're all kind of like Jack Kerouac. We're all kind of just these live-on-the-shirt tales. We're intelligent people, but we have no useful part of society other than just to live in mom's basement and do all this stuff and really not get a job. Well, one of the things that's in society is that not everybody is left-brained, and left-brained means that you're good with numbers, you're good with business, you're good with science. We have enough scientists in this world. We need creative thinkers. In fact, to be honest with you, I can say right now that if you really look at the way the economy is going, one of the problems is that we have too many worker bees and not enough queen bees. Although everybody who goes to college thinks they are a queen bee, which they aren't, but we won't talk about that. So, if you're going through this as a writer, okay, you have the stigma, you have all these charges, you go to college, in order to publish a paper, or publish a book rather, you have to do all this, and there's no guarantee. And you're like, well, there's no guarantees in life anyways, you have to work hard. But I have to tell you something too. It pisses me off when you work hard and people devalue everything that you've done. There's enough devaluation of everybody else. We're all trying to go. We're all in this rat race. We don't want to work together. One of the things my friend Michaela Page said is that why should there be winners or losers? Why should we be concerned about who's going to win and who's going to lose? We're all fighting this thing together. Who cares if we're all different? Who cares who wins, who loses? Who cares if one of us is better, one of us is worse? Most intelligent post I've ever seen. Regina, you know what I'm saying. If you ever get to this, call me. But the thing is with it as a writer is that we're also all trying to come up with original ideas. And I don't mean in our generation you're going to say, well, everybody wants the trophy. You grew up, you're entitled, you're a millennial. Okay? But I can tell you this right now. Somewhere on YouTube, there's a 50-year-old writer who has gone through the same things as me for many, many years. And they're going to say, Steve, you were right. But why did I keep going? Because I believed in myself. And I give a salute to you if you're that person. Because we're not all going to be Stephen King. We're not all going to be Hemingway. We're not all going to be John Green, who's the vlogger who wrote The Fault in Our Stars, which I read. You know, I did it as a peer review. And that's something we always do. We're like scientists, too. But we're not like scientists. We don't have any STEM graduates. We need to get jobs and everything. But we all band together, and I think personally that the biggest difficulty is, as a writer, is that you have to produce a product, which is a skill, by the way. Writing is a skill. It's not turning a wrench. It's not a trade skill, but it is a skill nonetheless. Not everybody can write. I can tell you this right now. I wrote Hope for Healing and A Drop of Cold Blood, which is a total of 180 word pages. I wrote the second book, 86 pages, in 10 days. Overnight, while working full time, while going to school. 10 days, staying up late at night, typing away at my keyboard. How is that not hard work? How can you then say to me, I want your book for free? I want you to assume all the expenses so you can give me a copy that I'm going to throw away anyways because it ain't worth it. I'm going to give it to half-price books. Is that the entry fee? I mean, and I got to tell you the honest truth though. I've often thought about a Kickstarter, to be honest with you. But it just costs too much. I mean, why do I have to go for a Kickstarter? Honestly, you know, I wish people would kickstart me. I wish somebody would contribute because I want to make a difference. These books are my work. I'm 28. I'm working as a stock clerk. I don't know what it is in life. Maybe this book is what I do best. And I wish people would believe in me. It is depressing every time I have to hear people break their promises and say, I'll buy the book. And it's been 6 months and they haven't done it yet. It is kind of depressing, especially when, as a writer, you've produced work that you've worked very hard on, and people marginalize it. So anyways, the thing is, too, is this is, and I'm sure if you're any artist, if you're a musician, many who I've backed on Kickstarter. In fact, one of them is actually going to make a song for me. And that made a difference. She read the book. I supported her, she's supporting me. We both work together. That's what us artists do. We collude. We team up. We go and we'll do things together. Because we believe in each other. Isn't that what you guys wanted? No. In America, we all work for ourselves. We say, fuck everybody else. Right? We're good. We're going to pound our chests. We're going to go out. And that's the reason why the economy sucks. That's the reason why we treasure people who make money, make billionaires. That's why we're all concerned about politics. That's why we're all concerned about ourselves. Read into our worlds as artists, as writers, as musicians, as directors. We'll take that away from you and we'll put you in our world. In fact, that's all about what Hope for Healing and A Drop of Cold Blood is about. It's about taking you into that world. Think about if you had to build a house, or build a car or something. You have material, you have to piece it together. Now think about if you've created an alternate universe as a writer. That's a lot more work, isn't it? But anyways, this is a little bit of a long rant. So I want you to think about it. I want you to, if you've made it through all this video, leave the comments. Tell me what you think. If you stuck with me, thank you. And I'm not going to ask you to buy my books. If you want to, it's fine. But I have to get this off my chest. I want you to appreciate me as a writer. And I'll let you make the decision for yourself, whether you want to buy my books or not. Obviously, I would thank you very much. I thank you as always for watching this page, and I hope you can share this video with others because it is the truth. I hope you do kind of know somebody who maybe is a writer or a musician or a filmer or a photographer or anything, or an artist, a painter. And they'll say the same thing about you, which I'm sure they will. Even Stephen King would probably say about it, Michael Crichton, John Green, and J.K. Rowling. They'll all say this: we had to start small, but you have to create a level playing field for everybody. So, take care. For Red October Network, Stefan Cassadee, so long.